Hello, viewers. Welcome to the YouTube channel of Life and More. Today we have with us Dr. V Srinivas, and he is basically a practicing doctor who specializes in urological cancer, and he works at Hinduja Hospital in Bombay. And why we are talking to him today is because he's an author too, and he has authored three books in all. And this is the third book that we'll be talking about today. The book name is A Tale of Two Friends. Welcome, Dr. Srinivas.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for having me on. My pleasure.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. My pleasure too. So, Dr. Srinivas, what sparked the idea of writing A Tale of Two Friends? Like, was there like a moment in your life, an encounter with somebody that set this book in motion, like sometime back, or maybe it's a recent one?
Well,
What
actually,
sparked the
this
idea?
came. Well, actually, this came out by chance because I'd
Hmm.
written two previous books, A Tale of
Hmm.
Two Homes and A Tale of Two Medics. So I just wanted to continue this theme. And
Hmm.
my third book, somebody mentioned, why didn't you write A Tale of Two Wives? But
Hmm.
unfortunately, that's a non-starter because I still got only one wife. So then I was
Hmm.
thinking of what to write, and then I felt friendship is something, when we make friends at a young age, when we are actually a
Hmm.
nobody, this friendship should continue into an older age. When we become a somebody, we should still have that friendship, you see. So
Hmm.
I thought that may be a good theme to get into. And what happened is around this time, there was a lot of conflict going on in the USA, with the
Hmm.
Republicans and the Democratic Party. And even in our class emails, if somebody said one point of view, somebody else used to jump on them. There was a lot of animosity going on just on emails. So I said, let me
Okay.
write a book like this, showing the friendship is something what stands even in spite of being different political parties or different professions. And that's what the theme of the book came out to be. By chance, it happened to be at
Okay.
the right time. This is what it came.
Huh. So the two friends that you're talking about in the book, are they somewhere like linked to your real friends, people in real life? Have you
No,
taken
actually,
upon them?
this is a fictional story. But what I've done
Hmm.
is I've added a lot of names in the book. Uh, some
Hmm.
of my classmates, I've altered their names. I've added so that a lot of them who read it will feel, okay, I'm also in the book, sort of thing. But it's a totally fictional story about two Indians who have gone to America, one a doctor, one a lawyer, and how they
Hmm.
gel with each other after so many years. And they were classmates
Hmm.
from a young age,
Hmm.
and the friendship
Hmm.
lasts.
Hmm. So between the work that you do, doctor's job, even if you don't do it like full time, it's quite a time consuming thing. And your specialty is something I don't want to talk about, actually, the cancers. It's a very heavy
Yeah.
subject. So, how do you find time between your work and your passion of writing?
Well, actually, now I've cut down on my work. You see, I
Hmm.
don't operate that much like I used to do before. So I have a lot of free time.
Hmm.
And this book came about over a period of 6 weeks when I went on a holiday to Berlin in May. In the month of May, I
Six
was on
weeks.
holiday. Yeah, I wrote it in 6 weeks. Right. So,
Okay.
so what used to happen is every
Hmm.
morning I'd see the news of what was happening in America. There's to be different
Hmm.
things that the government would do, like tariffs, and then against law firms and all sorts of things. So each day I'll write a chapter, think of something and
Hmm.
incorporate it. So I really didn't know where
Hmm.
the book was going, but as the days went on, I tried to weave a story into it. So I finished it in six
Okay.
weeks, and
Hmm.
that was it. It was so that you'll see the chapters are very short because my
Yeah, yeah.
attention span is
I
short.
noticed that.
It's a,
Yeah,
so
I
that's how
noticed
it went.
that.
Each day a short chapter, next day next chapter. That's how it went.
Hmm. So the book, like, you're talking about the personal lives of the lawyer and the doctor,
Yes.
and how do you strike a balance between the actual things and the fictional part? Matlab, somewhere it has to be based on reality also, no? So how do you balance that, the fiction and the reality?
Well, the fiction is based on some sort of reality. If
Hmm.
people look at what's going on in the USA at the moment, they'll realize that
Hmm.
some of these chapters have been pulled out from there. That's been used as an example and expanded
Hmm.
upon. Like some people
Hmm.
being arrested illegally, the
Hmm.
tariffs where the prices go up, Canadian people boycotting American stuff. Those all those small
Hmm.
things have been weaved into the book and
Hmm.
fictionalized a bit.
Hmm. And the all through, it's the friendship that is overshadowing the entire narrative that you're writing.
Yes, I think that's very
Hmm?
important. We got to remember our
Hmm.
roots and our friends when you make at a young age. And these are, like I
Hmm.
mentioned earlier, these are the people when you're a nobody, they're your friends. So even when you become
Hmm.
somebody, you should still continue that friendship. You shouldn't let
Hmm.
things alter your ego
Uh,
and turn you into somebody different. This is what I feel
You
is very
you
important.
you still have, yeah, you still have friends from your younger age.
Absolutely. We meet very often from my
Hmm.
school days and my medical college days. We meet
Hmm.
regularly. We are on email touch,
Hmm.
and we are
Hmm.
always there to help each other out and meet and talk
Hmm.
about old times.
Hmm. So the doctor in the book has drawn from whom? You yourself or any of your doctor friends?
I don't think it's been drawn from any of my doctor friends, but it's an incorporation
Hmm.
of many of my doctor friends because there's something about going and studying in
Hmm.
Canada. In that book, I
Hmm.
put in working in Canada, which happened to
Hmm.
many of us. Even I went and worked in Canada because that's the
Hmm.
easiest way for doctors from India to get in those days. I'm saying, because the
Okay.
Canadians wouldn't go to a place like Newfoundland where there's so much of fog and cold. So a lot of Indian doctors went there. So that part is a part of truth which has been fictionalized. And working in New York, the anesthetist who came from Sloan Kettering as an expert witness for the court case. So that's a
Hmm.
fictionalized, but there are my classmates' names have been put in that, two different names, but that was a
Hmm.
hospital where I'd worked before. And, those sort of things are pulled in a little bit, but uh, sticking to fiction more, you see.
So you picked up different things from different people and different incidents, and then put them all into one big fiction story.
Yeah, that's correct. That's more or less what I would say.
Okay.
Little bit from here, a
Yeah.
little bit from there. And for example, at
Hmm.
the beginning of the story, these two friends were catching some fish in the pond and one fell into the water. That is a fact. It
Hmm.
happened to somebody whom I know. So these sort of things
Hmm.
are pulled in there and pushed along. You see.
Hmm. 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 Okay. See, you also talking about like friendship should remain friendships that you make in your young age. They should carry and all. But in these days of, I should say, cutthroat competition and so much materialism that has seeped into our lives, do you think these uh, values still hold true?
Yeah, very much so. I think they hold true,
Mm,
especially like I had gone to a boarding school, when we at a young age, and the
mhm,
friends you make there are really somebody who'll stand by you whenever you want. Even now, I meet them 60 years later. It's just the same, and each one
mm,
has gone into their own profession. They've done what they want.
mm,
They've achieved what they want. They come up in their field, and
mm.
it's really something that should be cherished. I think it should be cherished rather than looked
Yeah,
at as a
sir, what
competition.
I'm
Yeah.
true, but what I'm asking you is that the values that you're talking about of friendship and loyalty towards friends that you mentioned in the book also, does like today's younger generation resonate with these values do resonate with the younger generation today?
Well, I
That is
hope it.
what my
No, I understand your question, whether
mm,
because things have become more materialistic now, and
mm,
I hope it stands because even the same theme I used in my last
mm,
book, A Tale of Two Medics, which was about
mm,
ethical medicine and unethical medicine, with the hope that the younger generation who reads, the doctors who read the book, will go into the
mm,
correct mode of treatment of patients, you know. So similarly,
mm,
this friendship, I hope the younger
mm,
generation, if at all they read books, I don't know, that
mm,
these values will hold, because these are things you cannot throw out from your
mm,
life. You know, this is something that has to last
mm,
forever and ever.
mm, mm. So while writing the book on friendship, uh, did it like how much did it help you like personally? Did it expand your understanding of friendship, your viewpoint? Did it broaden that?
Not actually, tell you the truth, no, it did not.
Uh,
The reason I wrote it is actually my younger daughter. I used to call her up every day. What are you doing? What's happening? So she said,
mm,
"Dad, get a life. Do something. You know, don't keep calling me every day." So I said, "Okay, now I'll write a book." So it was more a time pass
mm,
for me. So I just finished. Like I said, I
okay.
finished it in 6 weeks. Every day I used to write for 1 hour or 1.5 hours, and that was it. So
Mm,
but I drew from the experiences that I'd had in the past. Yeah, that's what it was. And I've sent it
okay,
out to
okay.
some of my friends. Many of them like it.
Mm, mm. So, are there any, were there any books or authors or your readings that impacted this story?
Not really. See, I read,
Mm,
I read, like my profession is such that we have to concentrate so much on work and the operations that we do, which takes 6 hours,
mm,
7 hours sometimes. So the books I read
mm,
are very light-hearted. You know, some of these bang bang type of books. You know, just detectives and these sort of stuff. So a little bit of the torture scene at the beginning, you know, the first chapter.
mm.
Something of that may have come out from one of the movies you watch on Netflix or some of these things, you know. But otherwise, really
Okay,
nothing much. Uh, it just went
okay,
on like that, you see.
okay, okay. So, as an author, what's your writing style? What is your uh, do you have a like what I'm asking you is do you have a particular time or a particular normally authors have that a particular time to write a particular place to write do you have that or you can write
No,
anywhere any place anytime.
so what I do is if I'm writing a book, like even my first few books, I kept 1 hour or
Hmm,
2 hours in the day to write. My first book, which I
hmm,
wrote, I did while I was working full time in Bombay, operating during the day, and so in the afternoon I used to spend 1 hour writing or 2 hours writing, and sit
hmm,
in front of the computer and just concentrate on that. This book, as I said,
hmm,
my third book, I was sitting in Berlin in my daughter's house, and I just sat there, looked out of the window, and kept writing
hmm,
every day. And
hmm,
it's just a matter of you have to keep a certain amount of time. One day, each day, write a
hmm,
little bit, revise the last chapter, go to
hmm,
the next chapter, and just move forward till it gets over.
hmm.
Yeah, just stick to it.
Okay,
And that's what I did. And
okay.
and my stories are just cut and dry, you know, just short chapters, just to the point,
Hmm,
nothing elaborate. I think
hmm.
like surgery, you know, you
The
got to go to the
yeah
root
the
cause, cut it out,
precision of
draw
a
it out.
surgeon.
That's what it has to be.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's where
yeah.
it is.
So
Yeah.
okay, do you have any favorite authors?
Yeah, I used to read John Grisham. You know, I like his
Hmm.
law cases. Then
Hmm.
Mark Gibbons. These are also lawyers. Vince
Hmm.
Flynn. You know, bang bang type of stuff. You know, nothing serious. You know, I don't read all the high level stuff. So I
Hmm.
remember after my first book, I
Hmm.
went for 4 literature festivals in Uti,
Hmm.
Mysore, Goa, and Lucknow. And most
Hmm.
people there, you know, high level thinking and high level talking, but I was very low
Hmm.
level in everything, you see. So mine is very basic. Yes, that's where I
Hmm.
am.
Hmm. Hmm. So, what do you think that people like? What kind of reaction do you expect from the readers? What do you
See,
think that people should take away? One important thing that they should take away from the book, apart from friendship, because it's on friendship. We've talked about it, but is there any like hidden message that you want to
well,
send across?
I think if you read it and if you're in
Hmm,
touch with what's happening in many parts of the world where the government is
hmm,
sort of overriding the citizens by suppressing
hmm,
the press, suppressing the law firms, suppressing students, work.
Hmm.
That sort of theme is moving in many countries,
Hmm.
and so that has
Hmm.
been subtly shown in this book and written about in this book
Hmm.
in different ways and brought out. And I
Hmm.
hope governments change and people give freedom to the people to talk and express their views without feeling suffocated. This is what something that is there on the underlying theme of this book if you look more deep into it.
Okay. Do you think such a thing is happening in our country also?
I would imagine so. If you look at the press or look at the TV
Hmm.
channels, many of them
Hmm.
are parroting what one
Hmm.
party says. So
Hmm.
it is a bit of a problem, it should not be there.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
in any country, you should have equal chance for the opposition and members to talk whatever they want freely without being worried about what they say. I think that's
Hmm. Hmm.
the fundamental right anywhere.
Hmm. Hmm. So, do we expect like another full-fledged book on this part? Something that you hidingly
Well,
wrote in your Tale of Two
well,
Friends and openly writing about it?
well. I'm not a politician, nor do I go into
Hmm.
politics. So I
Hmm.
don't. My books are just light reading, keep you happy and
Hmm.
cheerful, and move forward. So I don't want to
Hmm.
dwell into a subject where I have no expertise. So
Hmm.
I may
No,
not. I
no,
don't
but you
know.
since you're talking about like living here, and if you're experiencing certain things and you're seeing certain things not happening right, as an author, don't you get an urge to write about it also, like in a full-fledged way?
Well, at the
You
moment, I
don't
don't
have to
have.
be a politician for that, Anji.
At, at the moment, I don't have an urge. You never know. Things may
Okay,
change. Like
okay,
so.
yeah,
Who
yeah.
knows? You can never predict
Hmm.
what's going to happen the next few days or next few weeks.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
So
exactly. So, is there any new book that you're working on?
no, this book has just been published. I
Hmm.
think in last month, September,
Hmm.
October. So
Hmm.
I just want to get the word out about this book. Get it reviewed by
Hmm.
people and
Hmm.
get their feedback, how they like it, what happens, and get
Hmm.
this word out. That's the goal at the
Hmm.
moment.
Hmm. So, like your three books have been a tale of like this is the underlying theme that you are
Yes.
writing on. So, the next book, do we expect books in similar series, or you can like divert also?
Yeah, I can divert. I mean, I should because I don't
Hmm.
know how many tales to write. How many two people.
Hmm.
I have no, never. I never know. Even I never thought about writing this. Suddenly, this idea came about, and I wrote it, A Tale of Two Friends. So it
Hmm.
may continue in the same theme if I get another idea, or I can divert. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm open to anything. I'm easy.
Okay,
Nothing,
okay. But as
nothing
of
fixed.
now, you don't have an idea or a book in mind. As
Nothing,
of now,
not
no.
at all. Not at all. Even for this book, in the month of April, when we are sitting in Bombay and somebody asked me, "What's your next book?" I said, "It's a tale of two
Hmm.
wives. I can't write it because I have no second wife. First wife is still there." And that was the end of my writing. Then, when I went
Hmm.
to Berlin and my daughter said, "Get a life, do something," then I said, "Chalo, let's write a book."
Hmm.
And that came about like that. So,
Hmm.
that was just a spark that took it up. So, you never know. Something
Hmm.
may come, something may
Hmm.
not come.
Hmm. Hmm. You sometimes, like a little back, you mentioned that don't know if young people are reading books.
Yes.
So, do you think that the hard copy books are still sold? There is a particular clientele for the books in these times of internet, and do you think
Yeah.
people are into reading still?
Uh, People are reading. There are many who said they want
Hmm.
the hard copy of the book to read rather than even read it on Kindle. I've heard that. But I do not
Hmm.
really know about the younger generation, how keen they are. This is, I would say, middle aged
Hmm.
people, elderly people, they all want books to read. They like to hold the book and read it.
Hmm.
But the younger
Hmm.
generation, I still haven't got a handle on that. Like, talk to my children, they'll say, "Yeah, we'll read it." One of my daughters loves reading. The other one likes watching movies. So, and they're in the 40s. So I don't know the younger, even the 20s. I don't know what their exact theme is.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think they're more into Instagram and all these sort of things.
Hmm.
How
Hmm.
keen they're on reading is difficult to say.
Hmm. So
Suppose
how
you have to
much
look
do
at
you
some.
think? Tell me, tell me.
No, I would suppose you have to look in the schools and find out if the libraries are really
Hmm.
being used and kids do read.
Hmm.
I do
Hmm.
remember that when one of these books I spoke at the Uti Lit Fest, the last book I wrote, I had they had a batch of
Hmm.
school kids who had come and they came and spoke to me, and some of them said they really like reading. So, it
Hmm.
may be a small percentage, but still, books are popular with
Are there
youngsters,
to
I would
stay?
imagine. I'm sorry.
Books are there to stay.
There to
I
stay.
said
I think
books
so.
are there
Yes,
to stay.
you're right. I'm sure their
Okay.
books are there to
Hmm.
stay. They would read it. Yes, it's a good time pass.
A- hmm. And what's your experience with the publishers?
Well, see, this book is published by White Falcon, which is a
Hmm.
self-publishing agency in Chandigarh. I found them to be
Hmm.
very good because they do an excellent
Hmm.
job. Their graphics are good, their print is good, and
Hmm.
they deliver on time. So I'm quite happy. I was quite happy with them. I got my first book
Hmm.
done by them, and the other two also by them.
Okay.
So
So what's
they're
your like many authors would go in for like reputed publishers like Penguin or
yeah.
HarperCollins or Blue Ink and versus self-publishing. Which one do you think works better for an author?
Well, there are two ways of looking at it. One
Hmm.
is if you want to get reviewed by big newspapers and get the stamp put that it's a genuine book, then obviously you have to go into the big publishers, Penguin, HarperCollins, those sort of things. On the other
Hmm.
hand, if you want to get your book published fast, and the process of rejection is very high if you send it to these big publishers. They take a very
Hmm.
small percentage of very high quality books. Well, if a book like this you just want to do, write something and get it out, it's much easier to go self-publishing. But the problem then
Hmm.
comes is to get the book reviewed by reviewers who will give a feedback, and also to get it out in the bookstores and that sort of thing, because
Hmm.
unless a book is reviewed, unless it comes in the papers or somebody talks about it, or it's shown in the
Hmm.
bookshelves of a bookstore, then people don't know where the book is there. So
Hmm.
you're caught in a situation where nobody, you write a book, nobody knows about it. So that's a
Hmm.
problem. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Did you
fortunately for
approach
me,
any?
sorry, yeah,
Did you
go
approach
ahead.
any publisher?
No, I didn't approach any publisher because, and the other thing is the publishing process, I think, takes a long time. You got to send in a few
Hmm.
chapters. They got to review it by a couple of people. Then they'll send you
Hmm.
corrections, or they may like or not like it. Then you got to write
Hmm.
more, send it. So the whole process may take 1 year or longer, maybe longer.
Hmm.
And this one took me
Hmm.
just 2 months, 3 months to get it in and out. Like I
Hmm.
said,
Hmm.
surgeons just want to do the work fast and get out of the, in, out, finish it off. That's what
Hmm.
my theme is, and I finished it off.
Hmm.
But
No.
now I'm trying to get it reviewed by people to see what their feedback
Hmm.
is. Fortunately, on Amazon,
Hmm.
I've got a few reviews by even people I don't know, and they seem to be positive. So I'll just wait and
Hmm.
watch.
Okay. Okay. So no big publishers for you.
No big publishers at the moment for me. I'm not
You
even
you
trying.
don't want to go that way.
Well, I don't know. You've got to keep saying it takes a
Hmm.
long time. I don't know if they'll ever even look at this
Hmm.
book. Who knows?
Hmm. Hmm.
I only want a good feedback from people who read it if they like it or not. That's
Yeah,
important.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. And see, you've written three books, so you are fairly, I would say, fairly experienced author now. So, what suggestion or advice would you want to give to an upcoming author, like somebody who has an idea and wants to write a book? What advice would you give to that person?
Well, see, so going back one step, so I've written three books,
Hmm.
like you say, which are the so-called fiction, because before that my
Hmm.
writing was only on surgical, on medical stuff. I wrote all the medical
Medical
articles,
papers?
and yeah. So
Hmm.
those medical
Hmm.
papers, you got to stick to the theme, and you got to be absolutely to the fact and to the point. You can't expand.
Hmm.
Whereas when you write
Hmm.
fiction, you can expand a little bit and digress. So to a young author or
Hmm.
anybody who wants to write, if you really feel like
Hmm.
writing, I think it's very important to go ahead. Don't feel scared. So before you start the book, think about what your storyline is going to be, and what I used to do in my first two books is I summarized a few points. I used to write down some points of what I would like to talk about, and each day I would think about that point and sort of expand on that point and go ahead. And that way I could move the book story forward. In this book, I didn't
mm,
have a really a theme, or I didn't know where I was going to go with the book because it just came along and it moved forward. So sit and write it, revise what you've written the previous day, go back forward. But when you sit and write, stick to a plan. Don't just write something, leave it for 1 month, and write again. You'll never pick it up. That's slow. I suppose, like again, I said, because of being a surgeon, you go one, two, three, four. Where some other people
mm,
may do it another way. So I don't know. But
mm,
this is what I follow.
mm,
But if you
mm,
feel like writing, do write, because it's something, at least have a book in your name, and show it out somewhere. People
mm,
may like it. Write about,
mm,
whatever you like. Yes.
mm. What is one important thing, the most important thing an author should have? Most important quality, maybe, or most important skill an author should have, according to you?
I think you should have clarity of thought. You got to really
Mm,
focus on what you want to do and stick to that.
mm,
Don't get
mm,
digressed by going into left, right, center. Stick to your main
mm,
theme. Go into that and have
mm,
some discipline on just sitting, spending time, and doing it.
mm, mm. And do you think that the book fairs that happen now, there are quite a few. Every part of India is having a book fair of its own. Earlier, it was not like that. So, do you think these book fairs help
Help in
the
the sales, you
authors?
mean? Help in the sales or help in getting your
Sales or
face?
spreading the word around about the book? How much do they
Yeah,
help?
I really don't know because this book,
Mm,
I think there's a Delhi book fair in January. So
mm,
they said they'll keep the book in the stall, but I don't know how many people are going to go there and look at it. I've been
mm,
to these literature festivals, to four of them,
mm,
and
mm,
they're not this book, for the previous books. And
mm,
there you do get people coming and talking to you and getting some idea what happens. But
mm,
I still feel to get the word out to a larger audience, you need to get this
mm.
book reviewed and in a newspaper and something of that sort, where more people,
Okay.
get to know there's a
Mm,
book like this. And
mm, mm,
it needs to be in book stalls, maybe in the airports or
mm,
stations. I don't know where people actually see the book.
mm, mm. And you've written like three fiction books, but non-fiction. Any uh, thought about writing a non-fiction? Like you said that you published medical papers, but any non-fiction about
Yeah,
your
I mean,
field?
I've written a textbook on urological cancer,
Acha.
for
Okay.
undergraduate and postgraduate students. So I've already finished that.
Mm,
Finished writing
mm,
scientific articles. Finished writing a textbook
mm,
on medical. Written a chapter for another big surgical textbook. So surgical,
mm.
my
No
medical
more
writing
going
is
there
over.
now.
Yeah, I
Okay.
published over 100 papers in
Uh,
international journals. So
uh,
that chapter is over.
mm,
So now this is
mhm.
this
Okay.
chapter
Okay.
started. Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Okay. Okay. ठीक है. And if you, as we end this conversation, if you could share with us uh, your favorite author, one, your favorite book, two questions.
So my favorite author was John Grisham. You know,
Okay.
because
Mm,
those courtroom cases and the story that goes, and so I really like reading his books. And
mm,
favorite books, I mean, I've read many of his. So
mm.
there's nothing as such a favorite, but you know, Time to Kill was a good one because I saw the movie of that also. It's an older one.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Mm,
But
okay.
yeah, so that's that. And
So
so
thank you, Dr. Srinivas,
thank
for talking to me.
thank you very much, ma'am. Very
And
kind of you. It was lovely talking
no,
to
no,
you.
it's my pleasure to be. I love talking to people. I love getting their viewpoints. It expands my own viewpoint about life and my own horizons. So thank you so
Okay.
much for talking to me. And
Yeah.
I wish you all the best with this book and with all your forthcoming books that you
Okay.
plan to write, wish to write. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you very much. Looking forward. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.